Oh, there it is. Hey, we out here. All right, guys. If you didn't know, well, if you didn't know, you know the culture. But if you guys didn't know, we got our superpowers today. We are unlocked. Yo, I saw this shit, and first of all, I bought this off Amazon. Not for this. Not for any reason, actually. But it's very hard to not put it on. Alright, guys, it's been a while since I got on a podcast. Going through some stuff mentally. It's been a little harder to edit these videos, but, on Let's Be Blunt, we like to be blunt with you guys, alright? Mental health is important. If you need to take days off on whatever you're doing, please do it. Now, I know you guys love to listen to these podcasts. I know you guys love to. Sometimes, mentally, it's hard. So, if you're feeling like me and sometimes things get mentally hard, you should talk to someone. I don't know if you have a great support system or your family or someone outside of that you can talk to, but if not, there are plenty of services online and elsewhere. I know this sounds like an ad for one of those services, but this is really just to stress the importance of taking care of yourself mentally. Look, sometimes you have a job or something you have to do. And in America, it's weird to take a personal health day for your mental health, but we should make that normal because you can overwork yourself and you shouldn't do that. So me getting here on this podcast should tell you guys that, hey, I've been overworked a little bit, but now I find that this is the point that I can just sit down, relax, talk to Eddie. Oh no, Eddie's not here. Well, me and Eddie are working ridiculously long hours right now. So I'm not shaming Eddie for not being here. I was going to be like, yo, Eddie, let's hop on a Zoom, but I don't really like the way Zoom podcasts work. I'm not a fan of Zoom podcasts. So we get Eddie on the next one. Eddie, we miss you. All right. We wish you were here. You're here in spirit. As far as the podcast, I got some topics I want to talk about. There's some things that I saw that was just out of pocket. So, guys. All right, now that Sassy's dealt with, guys, what's going on? My name's Cliff, and this is Let's Be Blunt, the news show where we give you some news and we get blunt about it. All right, we got some general news. Guys, I'm your general today. Here goes some news. I know COVID has been a really big issue, right? There is no underselling how bad COVID has been. And for America, we can't get our shit together, right? We can't seem to get our shit together when it comes to COVID because we're Americans. One for all and all for themselves, as they say. So, obviously with the regulations saying you should stay home. If you're feeling symptoms, you shouldn't go out. Really, if you don't have to, you shouldn't be traveling at all. You should only be traveling for the essentials. It's holiday season. You shouldn't really be meeting up with family because there's a pandemic going on. I know you can look at the rest of the world and you're like, oh, well, you see what happened? They did their stuff and now they're a second wave too. Cool, we're watching all these countries go through a second wave. UK has been barred from the rest of Europe because they're going through a second wave. We're still on our first wave. We're hitting spikes in COVID deaths that we hit at the beginning of the pandemic and at the middle of the pandemic, and it's going to continue because no one wants to stay home. And I get it. Staying home sucks. No one wants to stay home. There's nothing to do when you stay home. It's boring. But, nigga, people dying. And if you're not, like, I get it. Go shop. Get groceries. But, nigga, you hit Miami? For real? No, I'm not going to sit here like I didn't go to Disney. And then Colorado 3 months later. But the difference between that is that I'm a hypocrite. All right? I'm here to tell y'all, do as I say, not as I do. That term's used a lot, but thinking about it now, it kind of makes sense. It was good for me to do it. I shouldn't have did it. Now I'm telling you why you shouldn't do what I did because I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have gone to Orlando and I shouldn't have gone to Colorado. I did, and luckily, I didn't get COVID. But guess what? I'm not everybody. I'm the exception. I shouldn't have done those things, but I did. I can own up to that. I shouldn't have been I shouldn't have been on air. I shouldn't have been traveling. I shouldn't have been going to places that weren't home or work or the grocery store. And I shouldn't have been on an airplane. Because you know what happens when you get on an airplane? Niggas got COVID on airplanes. It's just a big trap box, recycled air. You can't go nowhere because you off the ground. Only thing worse than being in an airplane in the middle of a pandemic is being on a cruise ship in the middle of a pandemic. I'd never be on a cruise ship, but then, I kind of fly. But if I would have flown and a nigga died from COVID on my flight, there is not enough hand sanitizer in the world that I could cover myself in. I'm gonna be like Frank from Always Sunny, nigga. I'm forever unclean. I can't even go home. I got people home that I don't want to get infected. I can't go to work. So I see upwards of hundreds of people at work every day. I can't get those people infected. Half of our customers, old people, they gonna just die. I would have to literally stay on the airplane. Yo, if someone dies on your flight of COVID, young niggas got quarantine on the airplane. You gotta bring them some food, bring them some blankets, some pillows. You lean that seat back. I don't know what you gotta do. Airplanes are half full now, so look, everyone can sit every other seat. Just lay that bitch back and pass out, cause y'all ain't leaving the airplane on my watch. Everybody, even the pilots, everybody stays on that flight for 2 weeks. Y'all better land and then just stay on the runway. This woman tweeted that someone died on her flight because of COVID, and then they let them off the plane. They said, "Oh, we tested him. You know, he didn't have COVID." What? And I know I shouldn't have, but both times I went to the airport, ain't nobody test me. They said, "You got symptoms?" I was like, nah, that's weed. And then they were like, "All right, but no temperature checks." I got tested, not tested, but I got more temperature checks and hit more hand sanitizer stations in Disney than anywhere else. Now let me say this, because, you know, I'll try and excuse my ratchetness and going all over the world and shit. I've never been to a cleaner place than Disney. Look, Disney may be evil, they may do this and they may do that, but as far as cleanliness and being able to enforce wipe downs, oh, Disney was clean. Disney had hand sanitizer. You couldn't go 20 yards without running into hand sanitizer. And unlike the mall and all those other gross, yucky ass places that when you get the hand sanitizer and you be smelling tequila, get flashbacks like you in the club, 6 beers deep, hella shots of tequila, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Disney had that Purell. Disney got the hand sanitizer plug. That shit was not sticky. It evaporated when it needed to. It cleaned your hand and it smelled good. Disney also shut down the rides. Every 20 minutes, a ride was shut down so they could sanitize it. Basically had these big things of bleach. They'd spray the rides, all the rides, right? And then they send the rides off on the ride so it could dry off. And then they let people on it. Now, it wasn't as safe, but the parks were also at half capacity. Disney was pretty clean about it. I can't lie. I can't even front. And then when I went to Orlando is one of the cleanest. And then when I went to Colorado is truthfully one of the cleanest cities in the country. Now, I gotta say too, you know, this has nothing to do with COVID. Being at Disney was lit because of COVID. I will say that. You know, the rides, some rides were no wait. I rode the Millennium Falcon ride at least 3 or 4 times in a row. That ride was so much fun. And that ride had no wait. Some rides had like 10-minute waits. The longest time we waited was like 30 minutes, and that's because they were cleaning a ride. But I will say this. I went to Florida, went to Orlando, was not a fan. Probably won't go back to Florida. I've seen all Florida has to offer. Maybe Miami if I'm balling. But, you know, I've seen what I need to see from Florida. Dude, I went to Colorado, and I was like, I need to go back. If the cost of living wasn't so high in Colorado, I'd probably live there. Oh no, I'm gonna drive there though. I'm not getting on a plane. Someone died on my plane. I'm hard pressed to fly again. First of all, I already hate flying. Big fear of flying. Even if it wasn't a pandemic, if someone died on my flight, too close to death. I'm out. Nigga's stupid, yo. Nigga's really stupid. In 2020, anything goes. I saw this shit where these parents were upset because their school was trying to make the school less racist. And I was like, yo, leave it to white parents to be upset, yo, about some less racist shit. You're not upset about the racist shit. You're not upset when we try and be less racist. Y'all just want to be racist in peace and have nobody bother you. So basically, no, I don't want to say I get it because I don't get it. Niggas want to be included. And if y'all not going to include us, we need to be forced to be included. So no, I don't get it. But if I'm trying to understand it, I can kind of get it, where it's like, okay, you're making the focus on these one students, and these students are being signaled out, and it's like, hey, give these students special treatment. What about my kid, right? I thought we were trying to treat everyone equally. I thought everyone deserved the same things equally, right? We're trying to be equal, but we're not trying to be equal. And I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, oh, we're supposed to be equal, all lives matter, let's be equal. No, nigga, we don't want equality. We do want equality, but we don't want equality. We want equity. We want to be able to have the same playing field as you. I've always seen this meme and I thought it illustrates it the best way, right? Look at this fence, right? We can't see over the fence. My nigga like, yo, I can see the whole game. Which I want to play by play? Nah, nigga, I don't want to play by play. I want to see by see. I want to see the shit. And then I like the next picture where it's like, oh, bet. I can kind of see now, right? Isn't this game lit? And the nigga down here like, hey, so then we have this picture, which is equity, right? We can all see the game equally, but the benefits that we have aren't distributed equally. Because in the second picture, both niggas could see, but this nigga could see a bird's eye view, way more than he even needed. But with equity, look, if you don't need the booster seat to see, then you don't get one. That's how it works. That makes it fair for everyone. Don't you want fairness? You just want the illusion of fairness. When you say I want equality, don't you want equality too? No. You actually just want the illusion of equality. So when I look at this school and they're trying to say, hey, we want our black faces to see more of themselves, I will always be on board with saying representation matters, right? And so the school have some naysayers that are like, yo, don't do that. That's not equality. One parent said, my ancestors experienced white supremacy by being slaughtered, a Jewish woman told the New York Post. The idea that being white automatically means you're a privileged or a white supremacist is ridiculous. My child comes from people who had to fight for everything they got. It's just about skin color now. All right, cool. Let's talk about this. I'm going to keep bringing it up because it feels like everyone needs a constant reminder of privilege. Sorry. It feels like nowadays everyone needs a constant reminder of what privilege is. So let's break down what privilege is. I'm going to keep doing it. Everyone treats privilege as I have privilege. You have privilege. How can I have privilege? My people went through this. Really, it is not a you have it or you don't have it. That's silly. That's not how being privileged works. The privilege to have something is not something that you can either have or not have. It's just you could have it and you can't. You kind of have your cake and kind of eat it too. Here's how it works. Let's take two blank avatars. Boom, boom. Blankness equals nothing, and the attributes they get later are points added to them. The more points you have, the more privilege you have, right? Privilege is more of a bar system. So, looking at these two blank slates, let's make this one blank slate. Let's make this one person from America, or just a first world country, and the second person from a third world country. Wow, plus 10 privilege points, plus 25 privilege points. That's a lot. That's a lot. Living in a first one. All right, let's make this first person born in the first world country and the second person born in the third world country. Plus 5 points, plus 25 points. That's 5 times more points than the other. That you have more privilege living in a first world country compared to someone living in a third world country, obviously. You are privileged. Me, myself, I am privileged. And now let's do something fun. Let's give this person color. Just any person of color. Plus 15 points. And let's keep this one white. Plus 70 points. You see how you already have more privilege than me? Now, it works another way. Both slates, people of color. One is affluent, one grew up in poverty. You are more privileged than I am, comparative, but we together can still be less privileged than someone that is not a person of color. Privilege is not something you can have or not have. It is just simply, I might have a little bit of it, but lack it in other places. Like that's how it works. So when I look at these parents being upset that the school's trying to implement, now let's look at what the school is trying to implement. What's going on here? They forcing every black kid to have all A's because that would have been lit, but that's not right. Oh, what? No, they just want to do basic shit. Hired 12 full-time diversity officers, multiple psychologists to support students coping with race-based traumatic stress. There are just certain things that black counselors can understand about a black student that white counselors simply can't. That's a fair ask. Assigning a staffer dedicated to black students who have complaints or face disciplinary action and a full-time advocate to help black kids navigate a predominantly white institute. Now that might have been a mouthful and you probably didn't understand it, but that basically is saying have someone there looking out for the kids who might not come from that area. Maybe they're just smart, but they're surrounded by negativity. Being in new environments is stressful, traumatic for children. And sometimes when kids are placed in stressful, traumatic situations, they act out. You need someone there to be like, hey, don't just suspend or expel this person. Let's get to the root of the problem. That seems fine for me. Paying the student debt of the black staffers upon hiring them. I mean, this is a very affluent school. That's kind of a tall ask. But the school's saying that they're doing these things. That still is a tall ask, though. I'm not gonna lie. Requiring courses that focus on black liberation and challenges the white supremacy. Yeah, I'm down for that. I don't even need to explain why. Compensating any student of color who appears in Dalton promotional material. Yes, because so many times, for so many schools, people of color are used as just advertisements. See, we got them here too. You can find you people, we down here. And you just took a picture of me on the quad and I was just chilling. You gotta compensate me for that. I feel that. Requiring anti-racism statements from all staffers. It's cool. I need to see you not racist. We got a lot of black kids here. Then they say like getting rid of AP classes if black kids aren't performing well in them, which standardized testing is biased towards certain races. So I definitely understand that as well. Donating 50% of all fundraising dollars to NYC public schools if Dalton is not representative in terms of gender, race, socioeconomic background, and immigration status by 2025. They're trying to put their money where their mouth is, and parents are upset. Selfish. Selfish. That's all I gotta say about that. Just selfish and stupid. Y'all want equality, but you don't understand that the means to get equality aren't simple and slow. We need to push. And sometimes things as dramatic as giving a lot of money and adding jobs can help that. You need to give to make. But they don't get that. And they will eventually, or their kids hopefully will, but they don't get it right now. Speaking of someone else who don't get it, CDPR, the company behind Cyberpunk, the failed video game release. I won't say failed. I play worse video games. Like I played Avengers, and I left that game being like, "Yo, this was trash." The replay value on Avengers is -0, is none. Like if you got friends that also have the game, dope. But they gotta get it half off because I'm not telling no one to buy Avengers full price. Cyberpunk, I will say, the game on PC and some PlayStation 5s runs fine. I'm playing it on PC. I torrented it. I stole it. Turns out I was still a car. Because I'm not buying that game. The game was broken. I was about to buy it for PS4, and then I went on Reddit. Everybody was like, yo, don't do that. Don't do that game. The game glitching. The game has had some wild glitches, right? And like, people were pissed because when they saw the game, they were like, yo, like how? You said it was supposed to look like this, and you said I wasn't supposed to have goofy glitches. It's supposed to run smooth. You've been working on this game forever, and it was supposed to come out in April. This broken game was supposed to come out in April. How much more broken was it in April? It's just the game. It's still better than the Avengers, I'll give it that. But with something so touted like this, and I'm always wary when I see celebrities like promoting for games. I'm like, all right, man, why are you the face of this game? How much money are they paying? Because like he's got his car in the game, his face is all over the game. It feels like to a certain point they're just like, let's see if we can get as much money back as we can. Which I don't like that. And now certain lawyers are looking into suing the Cyberpunk creators. Because it's like, yo, like you showed us something and then we couldn't play it. The CDPR was like, yo, look, we are bad. All right, look, we're going to have some patches to fix the game. Some coming out in January because it's the holidays, we're with our family. And there's another patch is coming out in February. If you can't wait, here's your money back. You give us a refund, take the game back, here's your money. Which, you know, commendable for them. They admit they made a mistake and they're trying to fix it. But also, I mean, if I'm being real, you sold me something that was broken. Usually what happens when someone sells someone something that's broken is that I should get my money back and I get to keep the broken thing because, you know, it might work a little bit later. I might have a way that it worked for me, kind of. I made it work. But I get to keep it off of good faith. You, the person who's the seller, supposed to sell me something that was supposed to work. Now it doesn't. So I need something so that otherwise I'm not coming back to you. It's just good business practice. If you really felt that way, you would give everyone who bought the game a refund. You feel me? That's how I feel. You can't just be like, well, if you want your money back, we'll take the game back, try to fix it. So if you want to buy it later, you can. No. Give me a refund and I keep the game. I think if they did that and then patched up Cyberpunk, I don't know. They could release some DLCs, and then people would buy the DLCs because they'd be happy with the game. I don't know, man. You kind of just got one chance to put out a game, and then if it don't work, you kind of just like, well, shit. If you're a big company, you make another game. If you're small, you go work for the big companies, I guess. I don't know. I can't imagine feeling so pointless as being a game creator that can't make games. At least you could go on and you could make like independent games and shit. But I think the only thing that would be more pointless than that, more crushing than that, would be being in a hate group and saying someone will never get famous, and then they become one of the biggest celebrities on the planet. Wouldn't you feel a little salty a little bit if you started a hate group like that, and then you was like, damn, I gotta see you everywhere. Like everywhere. Video games, movies, TV, music awards, everywhere. Because Lady Gaga had a famous hate group on Facebook when she was in college. It was called Gwen Giamatti Will Never Be Famous. Wow. I feel like if I saw a name like that and I was already putting out some stuff, that would drive me to prove those people wrong. You can't be a bigger hater. She will never be famous, bro. Not even a little bit. You ain't think she had a little chance? You ain't watch the video and be like, wow, she kind of talented a little bit. No, just 24/7 hate. Bro, the comments they was leaving was wild. Someone called her an attention whore. Who does she think she is? Some dude posted something about one of her local flyers for a bar, and he was like stomping on the flyer. And I'm like, bro, how can you be so mean and hateful? And then she becomes one of the biggest pop stars in the world. You had to be heated. I guess when you watched that one Super Bowl when she was dangling like SpongeBob, you was like, ha ha. But then she just went right back on to being famous. So still salty. How can you be such a hater? Sometimes you just gotta let people shine, yo. You can always tell the wackest people always hate on people. You just gotta let people shine. If you don't vibe with it, don't look at it. You ain't gotta watch it unless it's hurting somebody. Just ignore it. I don't know, man. Niggas hurting out here. Like, I saw this John on Twitter where this girl was like, my man work Monday through Friday, 16-hour days, and still has time to take me out and surprise me. Nigga, he surprised me by still being alive. What this nigga do? He own his own company? Is he just starting out? Because if he's just starting out, he ain't got time to take you out to dates. That's selfish. How you gonna make him take you out and surprise you, nigga? You should be surprising him. All right, every time he come home, surprise. You gotta have a new position, new couch, new something. All right, because this nigga is killing himself. 16 hours a day? Y'all go out to dinner? What? Is the dinner inside the kitchen? And then he come home from a 16-hour day and cook? Not that, the woman should be the one cooking. Because, my dream is to be a stay-at-home dad. But the stay-at-home, whoever, nigga, should be cooking. If the other person is 16 hours a day, 16 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, you get one day off. And you finna have dinner? I gotta go to work in the morning. Y'all niggas be having breakfast? Is birthday brunch? How, Sway? I get it. You gotta build your company from the ground. Sometimes that means 100-hour work weeks. But like, the whole time, it's not one period where it's like, hey, we made it. I don't have to literally kill myself to make it. Maybe if you gotta kill yourself to make it, you should slow down and take a step back. It's not all about the Benjamins. Also, if my person was working 16 hours, bruh, I can't let you take me out. I'ma feel too guilty. We gonna be out the whole time, but like, yo, you should be in bed. I feel bad, but you like, we shouldn't be out right now. I feel like you gotta go to work again. At least if he's his own boss, he can show up late. But that's the bullshit, yo. I ain't no way this nigga got at least, like, to get 8 hours of sleep, he would have 2 hours of leisure time. If he live an hour away from home, that means he has to eat, shower, sleep, play with the kids if they got kids, talk to the wife, catch up on life in 1 hour, and then go to bed. That's to get 8 hours. This nigga probably get 4 hours because he be trying to squeeze extra hours. Because why wouldn't you want to live too, right? You just gonna be at work all the time. That's crazy to me. Can't catch me doing that. Something else you can't catch me doing is playing the lottery. Like, No, I gamble. I ain't got nothing against playing the lottery. I gamble. I understand gambling. I can't, I don't know. I feel like numbers, I don't trust myself to pick the right numbers. I feel like I would pick numbers and they would hit on the wrong day. And I would be like, well, shit, I should have waited 3 days. I just don't trust, like with football, I know football. And I'm like, all right, this team might do this. Or basketball is like, this team might do it. You understand patterns. Like with random numbers, I don't trust. I'm too unlucky to pick numbers. It would fuck around. I pick my birthday and it would be the next day. I'd be like, well, how was I supposed to know that? And then I pick the next day and then it's my birthday the next day. And I'm like, that's an odd way for numbers to come out. Like, I don't trust myself. But, football, gambling. I trust Texas Hold'em the most. I don't want to say I'm out here counting cards because I think he get his legs broke for saying that. But it's a certain amount of math when it comes to playing cards like that and blackjack that I feel like if you understand math even a little bit, you're better off at those games. And like, you never catch me. I don't even know the name of it because you won't catch me playing it. But where it spin around in a circle and it lands on a number and a color. I'm like, nah, fam. I got hope. Trajectories just gonna point me in the right direction now. Give me some cards. Let me look at niggas and see if they bluffing. It is what it is. So playing the same numbers 160 times seems OD to me. Like in sports betting, I'm finding out, right, because I'm a newbie to all this, is that you can have a parlay, which is if you get multiple teams and they all win, you can win a ton of money, right? So what I'm thinking is, I don't like, parlay is a little too risky for me. I got to make sure 5 teams or 3 teams or so all win. Right before, I was just like, I hope y'all niggas beat these other niggas. Now I'm like, you got to be you and you got to be you and then you got to also be you. Like, it's just like, wait. Too many eggs in one basket. I got pears and apples and oranges. Too many. And I need these to do this. No, that's risky. And now I'm thinking the same numbers 160 times. That's not even a bunch of eggs in one. That's one giant egg in one basket. And if you trip, that's it. You just out a couple $100. But he hit and won 160 times. He won $4,000 160 times. This nigga said I had to pull over and check if it was real. He said, wait. Niggas refreshing the page. Are you sure those are the numbers? Going to other pages. Those numbers look the same. 160 times. I'm about to see what it do. See what numbers I can play. Because 160 times, not that much. That's excessive. That's crazy. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to. That seems like a dangerous road. It's like, oh, sports betting is okay, and then this is okay. No, we chill out with the betting. Actually, I get scratch offs like maybe once a month, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is. I wish I was that nigga. I hate seeing other people get my blessings. Like, God, you don't see me down here. Can I get blessings on blessings on blessings? Like Big Sean said. Like, I'm just hate seeing God give other people my glory. That's supposed to be me. I mean, good luck to this nigga. I hope nobody hit him up. Somebody gonna hit him up and be like, hey man, let me hold some money. No. Remember when I needed $2 and you was like, ain't you got $2, nigga? Yeah, hold that. That's, people always crop up when you win the lottery. I did a Horrors of the World of lottery winners, and winning the lottery is, contrary to belief, a very, very bad thing. And if you win the lottery, you're really lucky, but then you're followed by a bunch of unluck. You're gonna pretend unluck is a word. Are you cool? Because I'm cool with it. Have you guys seen Big Mouth? I know a lot of people like to watch Big Mouth. I'm a fan. It's just, it confuses me at times. Like, I'm confused about who Big Mouth is for. Because on the one hand, it's nostalgic, and we, for some reason, like nostalgia. We like to reminisce about we like to reminisce about the past. So when we see a TV show that correctly and very accurately describes something that a lot of us have gone through, we feel and connect strongly with that. And that's why I like Big Mouth. But it's weird because, like, there are kid genitalia everywhere, and it's like, can I just Can you guys tell the stories without that, please? That's not necessary. You watch something and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, and then you see it and you was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Cause kids are weird, man. Kids are weird. They're in a weird stage. And you remember being it, and you're like, yeah, it was cool, but I'm not trying to go back. Nah, remember when people was like, being it, don't take this for granted. Being a kid is way better than being an adult. Nah, gotta say, not even close. Not even close. It's like, oh, you gotta pay bills, and yeah, still, I can decide where I want to go at all times. What is that's not even like close. Oh, you're oh, you can do whatever, and your joints don't hurt. You can bend and jump and run. Yeah, that is true. But the ability to control your own money, nigga, what was allowance? Allowance, nigga, I didn't even choose to be born. Please give me some money so I can enjoy it. At least that's the least you could do. Let me not be broke. So yeah, I forgot I was talking about Big Mouth. Big Mouth is cool because of all those reasons. It even allowed me to reminisce and go down a whole ass tangent that I forgot what I was talking about. But Big Mouth season 4 came out, and it's addressing a lot of cool things. And what it's including is that the people of color are more in the forefront than they were in previous seasons. Now, the one character who's one of my favorites, Missy, is played by a Jewish white woman. And the past year, a lot of actors that were in roles that weren't their races have been leaving those roles. And I agree with that, because it's weird how directors were like, I got this idea for this character, and I want you to be the character. Well, why is it a different race? No, don't worry about that. That's what I wanted for the story. Can you play him? Why wouldn't you just change the race of the character or hire an actor that represents that race? That doesn't make sense. Why are you continuing to go through the story but because we've accepted it. Like with Family Guy, Cleveland, whatever, Mike Henry. That's Cleveland Brown. Mike Henry does not voice a black guy, but he voices Cleveland Brown, and he is a black guy. And Mike Henry realized the problem with that, so he was like, yo, I'm gonna vacate the role. And a YouTuber got it who is a black guy, and I think that's really cool. Mike Henry didn't have to do that because we have accepted him as Cleveland Brown, but he also felt like he had to do it because he himself is not a black guy. And it does feel a type of way when you realize Cleveland Brown's voiced by a white guy, and you're like, all right, whatever, it's Family Guy. It's not particularly good anyway. So the actress that played Missy stepped down and allowed a person of color to take her role. And the show addresses that, and one of the things they address is called code switching, which I think is really cool. But not a lot of people really know what code switching is, I'm finding out. Well, not a lot of non-people of color. Sorry, but I'm not. Basically, right, the show demonstrates this in a very cool way, but also a very depressing way. It's just something that you have to do to survive sometimes, because sometimes you just existing is threatening the people that don't look like you. You know, sometimes you gotta put on a smile when you don't want to smile. And we know why it's not okay to tell a woman to smile. It's just the meaning. Who are you to tell me to smile? What right do you have to tell? But for us, while not as offensive, is still somewhat close to it. But we have to. We don't get to be like, hey, who are you to tell us to smile? Because then now I'm aggressive. Like, oh, wow, I was just saying, cheer up, Joe. You ain't got to be so angry. Really? I got 500 years of history to tell you otherwise, but okay. Word, bet, let me smile. Now I got to do that to seem less threatening, or you have to speak a certain way. I just love the whole song and the way it talks about it, because it's like, yo, like, you kind of have to survive. And then the show even shows another point of view where it's like, hey, you shouldn't have to. You know what? Don't do that. That's wrong. Don't teach them like that. And at the same time, the character turns around. It's like, oh, hey, girl, yeah, we can hit yoga and then Jamba Juice Factory or whatever the fuck. Y'all niggas, I don't really know what y'all niggas be talking about. I'll be around y'all, but I don't be listening. It's just like, it's so quick to say, hey, this is messed up. You shouldn't have to do that. But, you know, sometimes you do. Whether it's, you know, to hook up with somebody, or if it's purely to not look threatening. And there are people saying, oh, everyone does that. You know, I do that when I'm in stores. You know, all right, thanks, little white guy. I appreciated that insert. But really, you don't have to Oh, what are they thinking though? What's that little kid up to? He's probably gonna do something. When minor, like he's knocked some toys over or some shit. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's not. He is a threat. He's dangerous. It's two different contexts. It's the same result, but it's two different contexts. Not even, because one's annoyance and one's fear. And I don't know. I just enjoy seeing this in a TV show. You could see the writers of color really trying to put their voices in during this season, and I appreciate that. A lot of people don't like Big Mouth, but Big Mouth does a lot of things correct. And John Mulaney's always that dude. I love his joke about little people and the N-word, and it's like, we could say little people, but we can't say the N-word. Well, I could say it, but y'all niggas can't say that. So yeah, I was just like, all right, cool. Cold switching. Speaking of other things for the culture, did y'all get y'all superpowers yet? Oh, there it is. Hey, we out here. All right, guys. If you didn't know, well, if you didn't know, you're not the culture. But if you guys didn't know, we got our superpowers today. We are unlocked. Yo, I saw this shit, and first of all, I bought this off Amazon. Not for this. Not for any reason, actually. But it's very hard to not put it on. This girl said we was getting superpowers on the 21st, and the internet ran with it. I've actually, for a couple days, but not one to acknowledge that it was a meme. I was kind of low-key hoping that I would get superpowers, but it is a meme. It was funny, but it was a meme, and the memes that came from this meme geeked. People should pay her because she actually gave people like a source of joy and humor. And can we talk about for a second how black people, I don't want to say run Twitter because there's Scottish Twitter and Australian Twitter and French Twitter, all that shit, but it really do drive Twitter. Black Twitter drives Twitter. Black Twitter got its own Reddit, and it's huge. And the memes that came from this leading up to the day, I was like, yo, my favorite one was fucking in the Avatar, spoilers, I guess, when dude fucking takes takes the Fire Lord's powers. When Avatar, when Aang takes the Fire Lord's powers, he draining them out, and I was like, me when Logic act up. Like, it's messed up, but it's funny. Like, niggas was like mixed people. They trying to get their powers. This nigga said when your white homie ain't got no powers, it's like, hey yo, I thought you were mixed. It's like, bruh, the memes. It was laughter that was definitely needed in times like this, and I was like, I'm glad we can all get together. I'm gonna be sad on the 22nd. I'm gonna wake up with powers and be like, yes, I knew it. I know it's true. It's because like there's some solstices, like Jupiter and somewhere else is lining up. Jupiter is gonna align with Saturn. It's gonna be the closest to Earth that they've ever been in hundreds of years. So apparently that's a recipe for getting superpowers and shit. I'm still waiting, but hopeful. She says, as black people, genetically we are stronger, smarter than everyone else. And I was like, yo, that feel racist, but word. Hey, look. They said it about y'all. Can we say it about us? Kind of racist. It's a shitty situation. I was trying to have superpowers. Now I don't. But speaking of shitty situations, did y'all hear about the quarterback Lamar Jackson about to poop his pants in the middle of a game? This nigga left the game with cramps, right? First of all, he left the game, and I was like, wait. Why you going in the tunnel for cramps? What's going on back there for cramps? Usually when niggas got cramps, they on the sidelines, they in the blue tent, they laying down. What is happening in the tunnel for cramps? Second of all, that run to the tunnel, that looked mad familiar. That run looked mad familiar to me. I've done that run. I've been at amusement parks, movie theaters, my own house. That's that run when you about to poop. And you try to hold it in because the bathroom is right there. Let me get right there. This dude came back on a 4th and 3 and threw a touchdown. Put it in the backup quarterback, and that nigga got hurt. He was like a sacrificial lamb. He was like, I just got shit. Please, just go in the game for like 5 minutes. I promise nothing bad gonna happen to you. He came out the bathroom. He was like, my dude, your leg not supposed to be. I got you. Let me just go and throw this quick touchdown. Yeah. Took a shit and went outside and shitted on the Browns. I was like, this nigga, Lamar Jackson on some other shit. This nigga said, I gotta take the Browns to the Super Bowl and then go out there and beat these niggas too. Niggas was calling him out. He was like, I did not have a Paul Pierce moment. I was like, you're right. You still left the game to go take a poop. But you're right. Paul Pierce was hella over exaggerating. This nigga was in a wheelchair and shit. Didn't tell nobody for like 8 years, 10 years, however many years. Then he was like, oh yeah, by the way, I did shit myself. You left the court in a wheelchair to poop? I never thought about that, but athletes don't get bathroom breaks during the game, do they? Because I never like see a porta potty or anything nearby nowhere. So I never thought about that. But do they get to have bathroom breaks during games? Probably something I should look into, but I'm not. All right, so since Eddie's not here, we're not gonna do a Horrors of the World. We're gonna do a Am I the Asshole? Right? I love this subreddit. I love that shit. Right? Basically, people go there, they ask, "Am I the asshole?" Right? I got a story. I did something, or someone did something to me because I did something. Was I the asshole? And they get a verdict. Yes, you were the asshole. No, you weren't. Or everyone sucks here. So I read a couple. I want to read them to you. Talking about tales from the page. Talking about everyone, regardless of age. Talking about the shit lock you in a cage. Talk about your family. Gotta go and get it right. Stories of dads calling sons snitches. Stories telling them that they acting like bitches. Stories about people say I'm not a drug user. Gotta go and link them up with the abuser. Talking about people that never forgive their sister. Talking about some people telling them you gonna miss her. Gotta go and find your way and gotta go another day. Gotta go and take it right now. You gotta go to the light. Gotta go out. Gotta go and run. Better get them, better go fast, for they get the gun, for they come and take your son, for they come and take your house, for they come up like a mouse. Gotta get you, gotta get them right. So, these tales, right? I was thinking about, should I talk over? No, I'm not going to talk over the beat. I'm gonna put some music in the podcast later, but Am I the Asshole? I've been reading some stories from Am I the Asshole, and I'm like, if you read some and you like, yeah, you might have been a little bit the asshole. Like, here, look at this first one, right? It said, "Am I the asshole? My friend said I'm a drug abuser, and I said, you're wrong." All right, well, let's figure out why. You might be, we never know. I'm a 29 female, if that makes a difference. Doesn't. One of my friends made a comment the other day about how I'm a drug user. I took offense to that because it makes me sound like a junkie. Now, let me be fair, right? If someone outright says you are a drug abuser, I'm gonna take offense to that. Yeah, what? What are you talking about? Why are you throwing labels? All right, you are a shopaholic. Yeah, that's not fun, is it? I mainly drink alcohol only socially on the weekends, never during the week, which that's not bad. What? I also smoke weed very occasionally, like a few times a year. That's not bad. And I do coke maybe once a month. I also only try pills once. Hey, whoa. You coke once a month? That's regularly. That's what? That's drugs. You doing drugs, honey? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm sorry. You might got a little problem. You can't be doing the nose candy once a month. No, that's so bad for your body. That's not even. Well, wait. No, don't. What do you? Okay, let's keep reading. It felt judgmental, which it kind of was. So I lashed out and basically called her a judgy prick because I don't consider myself a drug user. She got upset at this and I'm wondering if I was wrong. I guess calling her a prick was a little harsh, and I know technically I use things here and there. Although in this day and age, coke and weed are even coke. Although in this day and age, are coke and weed even a drug? But it just felt rude. Am I the asshole? Yes, coke and weed are drugs. So is Adderall. So is Xanax. So is Molly, ibuprofen, Adderall. This all drugs. Yes. What? I think what you meant was drug abuser, right? She called you a drug user. And I know those words rhyme, but they're not the same. I wouldn't even say you're abusing drugs. Once a month, like, cocaine should never be used. Maybe someone's going to find a reason medically to use some coca leaves. All right, cool. You should not be sniffing cocaine once a month. I don't care what you say. Your nose is going to be destroyed after years of that. Cocaine once a month? Cocaine never, first of all. But if you are doing it once a month, doesn't sound like it's a problem. Doesn't sound like an addiction. I don't know what it is, but it's not unhealthy if it's controlled, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think she was calling you an abuser, but if she was like, hey, look, if we talk in statistics, statistically, you are a drug user. That's a fact. And you called her a prick for stating a fact. Now, sometimes you can state facts and be an asshole. I don't even think she was being an asshole here. She was just literally stating a blatant fact. If my friend was like, yo, I'll be doing cocaine once a month, and I smoke, and you know I try pills. Like, I'm not a drug user, though. What? Yeah. Do you use them? You use drugs? Then you're a drug user. What kind of sense? Why you get mad at that? I border on saying everyone sucks here, but I'm gonna say you're the asshole. It's a little border on everyone sucks because no one wants to be told like some shit like that. Yeah, no one wants to be told some shit like that. The second one though, I felt like was such a missed opportunity, right? So the second one says, am I the asshole for telling my son to grow up and accept the consequences of his choices to snitch on his friends? And I was like, whoa, wait. Because let me be real, anytime someone uses the word snitch, right? People who say don't snitch are usually people who deserve to be snitched on. Now I understand where it comes from, you know, like if you're gonna be doing some stuff and then you get caught, you don't reserve the right to snitch. That's not the culture you signed up for. And if you do, you gotta face the consequences because you know that's the life you signed up for. So don't snitch. That's kind of fucked up. That's also like, come on, yo, you can't hurt your community. You gotta handle that in-house. I get that too. But when you talk about a son and he coming to his father about some problems, it's like, nigga, you a snitch. Whoa, we need to back up and reassess the situation. So it says, my son is in his senior year of high school, but he had to take a home final for his calculus class. The teacher said that they couldn't work together, but could use all of their notes, which is some bullshit. It's basically an open note test, but I can't work with my friends. I can work with a textbook that has all the answers. But this nigga don't even know shit. He don't know more than I do. I can't work with him. Two of us don't even equal one textbook. That's not fair. But you know everybody be taking that shit home. Everybody work on that. Damn. That is an unknown, unsaid thing about take-home tests. I'm Googling the answers. That's what sucks about cyber school. I'm Googling the answers right now, right next to the tab where I'm in class. So, a few of his friends decided to chat and work together on the final. My son, without consulting me or his mom, anonymously sent screenshots of the group chat to the teacher. I have no idea what's going to happen to them in terms of discipline, but they were obviously incredibly angry when the teacher told them they were caught. So, they're using the group chat to ask who snitched, and that whoever snitched needs to say they did. So last night, my son confessed to what was going on. He was very upset. Someone accused him of being the snitch, and then he denied it. I asked him why he snitched in the first place. I absolutely wouldn't have done that, and would have told him not to do that. And he said that he didn't think it was fair if people worked together when the teacher said not to, but he didn't think it would be that big of a deal. I told him that he needs to confess to what he's done and be honest with his friends. My son was crying and said they wouldn't be friends with him anymore. I told him that he was probably right, but that he should have saw this coming before he chose to snitch on them. I honestly don't know how he thought this whole thing would go. I also told him that he should have told his friends directly that it was not cool to cheat and that he acted like a coward and anonymously snitching, and that I was disappointed in him. He just cried and went to his room. My wife was very upset with me and said that I was just making him feel worse and that I acted like a dick. I hate to say this, but I believe my son acted like a dick. Ooh. I certainly wouldn't want to be his friend if I found out he snitched on me for this stupid thing and then lied about not snitching. I don't know if he comes clean or not, but I think I just provided him with some good, solid advice, and I don't think I was an asshole. I don't even know where to start. Hold on. I don't even know where to start. First of all, off grip, you called your son a dick. You can't go to a subreddit asking for advice on whether or not you're the asshole and then end it with, I think he was a dick. There's being honest and there's being an asshole. So that's one. Two, I think this was a really big missed opportunity because there really is something to understand about the difficultness of morality. Yeah, it's nice to say you should do this or you should do that on how to be a good person, but it is hard to make those choices. And you could have explained that to your son. You could have sat down and been like, yo, first of all, you're distressed. Let me help you emotionally. You did the right thing. And affirm him that he did the good thing, the right thing, because you know that your son saw something that was wrong and he tried to stop it. Now, the way he went about it, I will say, I agree. Some bitch shit. There's some bitch shit, my nigga. Now look, all right, you 17, supposedly, right? Unless you are early senior, you 17 or 18. That was some bitch shit. I agree with your dad, but he shouldn't have said it like that, because that's how your friends say it. Look, he's right, because they're not going to want to be your friend. It's a take-home test that, nigga, you know we all cheating on. Why wouldn't you come to me and be like, yo, what you guys are doing is wrong. And if you guys don't stop, I'm going to have to tell you, right? Like, if you're going to do it, if you think what's wrong is wrong, you feel me? Like, how you going to be like, oh, that's wrong, you guys are cheating, I'm telling you. And then when you get approached, hey, did you telling us? And then lie. No, I didn't telling you. Well, that's some bitch shit. Oh, it's only okay to lie and cheat when it affects you? What? So he could have consoled him, and then when he calmed down, be like, hey, listen, all right, this is how you went about it. I understand this was a hard choice to make, but sometimes in life you have to weigh your choices and the consequence. Like if you caught your grandmother, your 90-year-old grandmother smoking crack, and she never smoked crack in her life, would you call the cops on your 90-year-old grandma? Or would you think, this isn't worth it? She about to be out of here anyway. Might as well let her shoot up or do whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. Because sometimes the morality says, hey, crime, which doing drugs shouldn't even be a crime. That was just a bad example. It was funny. But morality says, hey, you see something wrong, that's a crime happening. Stop it. I actually do think people shouldn't smoke crack or heroin. Drugs should be free, and you shouldn't be prisoned for smoking drugs. But you shouldn't be smoking crack or shooting up heroin. It's just jokes, people. It's all jokes. What I'm saying is, like, yo, like, I lost my train of thought. What I'm saying is, morality is hard. It says do one thing, but you have to weigh whether or not what the context means of that. So you could have explained all this to your kid, but instead you called him a snitch. Basically called him a bitch ass nigga, which is right. His friends won't want to be friends with him. I wouldn't want to be friends with this nigga. Like, you could have came to me like we was boys, and then you just went behind my back, lied to our faces. Why would I want to be friends with you? I don't trust you. There's the trust destroyed. Also, why you want to be friends with these immoral people? So immoral, you wanted to tell them. What happened was, that nigga was giving out all the answers, and he was like, wait a minute, these niggas don't know nothing. They're all cheating off of me. Why should I do all the hard work while they do nothing? I'm telling them. And he would have to delete his chat too. I don't know how that would work exactly, but you know, that's a theory. A film say, no, I'm about to get sued by a film theory. But yeah, my verdict is you. All right, my verdict is you are the asshole. It was Everyone Sucks, but like, I hesitate to call a child an asshole because I'm not an asshole. So you are the asshole, sir. When it comes to you and this child, your child, you are the asshole. And the last one, which I think is the wildest one that I've seen in a while. Am I the asshole for refusing to visit my sister in the hospital because she still hasn't apologized to me or my wife? Off rip, I get it. You can hold grudges, right? If she insulted your wife, people think that because they're dying, when they die, they get to be like, oh, forgive me. It's like, nah, just because you out of here. God calling you. I ain't calling you. Nigga, I got you blocked. That's God. God ringing your phone. Nigga, not me. So I get that. But there's always context. And I'm going to say both of the previous two have been assholes. So this also might be an asshole. My sister, 42 female, and I, 50 male, used to be very close until about 2 years ago. She was diagnosed with MS, and when she was 32, I've been there for her through thick and thin for 10 years of hospital treatments and visits. However, my support obviously meant less to her than I thought, because she decided it would be okay to call my newly pregnant wife, 23 female, a downgrade. Huh? Wait. It's more than it's more than half his age younger. Wait, no, that's not. Okay, a downgrade. She called her a downgrade. I might say so. I don't want to say off rip, but let's keep reading. When I was 29, my parents conspired with my friends to set me up on a blind date with Haley, who was 28 at the time. For years, I felt pressured to stay with her, and eventually we moved in together, but I didn't want to marry her unless it was necessary for our kids. Why? Wait, why? You only had kids yet. It's literally just you two. No attachments. Just leave. It's just you two. I ended up getting pregnant 3 times with her. The first when Haley was 35, the next when she was 40, and her last miracle pregnancy at 46. All 3 ended in miscarriages. Haley and I ended up never marrying. Of course you didn't, because you just strung her along to get kids. That's why. After Haley got pregnant for the 3rd time, I realized that I wasn't in love with her and that I've been doing what others wanted for too long. Nigga, why you act like you're not a character in your own story, nigga? It's you. So a year later, we broke up and Haley moved out, but in the process, she took the sympathy of my family members with her, who said I was 48 and having a belated midlife crisis. How you take somebody's sympathy, nigga? I feel sorry for you. You can't make me do that. I just had 3 failed pregnancies, and then you just left me. I'm supposed to feel a type of way about that. What do you mean? Why wouldn't I? Holy shit. Oh, never mind. We're going to skirt past that. I told him I didn't care. I was in love with my now new wife. Wait a minute. We got married 6 months later. I didn't know until the last days counting down to my wedding if my parents would attend. They did. That was over a year and a half ago. Okay, wait. Go back. A year and a half ago. She's 23 now. Wait, she was 22. Wait, it gets worse. Wow. However, even now, my sister remains furious at me. She refused to go to my wedding and told me plainly that she continues to socialize with Haley and even helps Haley out with bills. When me and my wife visited her for Thanksgiving, my sister was furious I brought my wife along. After my wife left, my sister said, don't think that just because you're married and able to have kids with her, that she's any less of a downgrade. I was furious with my sister, both with the cold way she treated my wife and her insisting that the mother of my child, who I love more than anyone, could in any way be a downgrade. I told my sister until she apologized for how distant she was and how disrespectful she was to my wife that I would not see her. The other day, my mother called to say that my sister experienced a flare-up and was hospitalized. I decided not to go. I told my mother that I would not be going to the hospital because my stance was clear. No communication until my sister admits her rudeness was wrong. Now my sister's been released and my family is calling me an asshole for not being there. Am I the asshole? Sir, you are 50 years old. Can you stop acting like a child? First of all, you married a child. Got a child pregnant. God. The age gap is so concerning. Poor Haley. Nigga took the best of her years. She was with someone that didn't even want to be with her. Nigga just felt like he had contingency in his own fucking plan. Who does that? I hope you don't forgive your sister. Because apparently Haley was her best friend. So you hurt her too. You disappointed her. Yeah, your family called it a belated midlife crisis. Because what they really don't want to admit is that this is truly disgusting. It could not have been more worse unless she literally had cancer. And you did the same thing. Yeah, you downgraded. You had a perfectly fine person that you... And then in the comments you said you moved her into, and it was like, oh, we was broken up, but she was still living there, and I brought the new girl in, and it was like, wait. So you cheated on her wife. You cheated on your wife after she had her 3rd miscarriage. And you go to Reddit and you say, am I the asshole? And I hope it's fake. Because a lot of these, you'd be like, that's fake. Because poor Haley. I feel so bad for her. Hey, you guys got your horrors of the world after all. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Cliff, and this has been Let's Be Blunt. Thanks.